Tucker, I think the single most damning thing that's come out during this whole Russia talk was James Comey saying not once in the 9 times he talked to Donald Trump did Trump ever ask about what happened with Russia. It's reminiscent of O.J. not asking the police, what happened to Nicole? He knew. Now, I don't know where Trump was.
So you're the last person in D.C. who believes that President Trump was colluding with Russia?
Well, I'm saying, I'll tell you what I believe. Okay. What I believe is testimony that we need to have taken publicly from the figures. That hasn't happened yet. So the suggestion we should move on is, frankly, I understand it. I'd want to move on to at the tables return.
I'm not here to suggest that, actually. I'm here to ask you, shouldn't President Obama be among the people whose testimony we hear?
Sure. I think, I bet you're not going to hear anything differently than what he has said, agonized over,
really?
which is, look, he told Putin face to face, knock it off. We can debate whether that had any effect or not. The intelligence agencies had the mistake of coming out with their conclusion that the Russians were trying to meddle on the day of the Access Hollywood tape. Poor planning by the intelligence people.
Here's what I don't understand, and I sincerely don't. You can't argue simultaneously that it was an act of war, it was a subversion of our democracy.
Dick Cheney said that about the act of war.
It was as big a deal as 9/11 or Pearl Harbor, as a number of Democrats have said, and at the same time argue that not a big deal, as President Obama argued in that tape in October of the election year.
So
if this was really going on, why the hell didn't he do anything about it? Why didn't he tell the public about it? Why would he lie about it in the way that he just did?
Look, the fact of the matter is, there's a hypocrisy. You'd have to confess with Donald Trump basically receiving stolen goods, right?
Trump is bad. I get it. Okay, that's fine. But answer my question, though. This is a question. Why wouldn't President Obama, was the President of the United States, had this information that you're very spun up about? Why would he withhold that from the public? Why didn't he tell election officials in any of the states about it?
I think actually the evidence is that he did. In fact, talk to anybody in that group of 8 on Capitol Hill who all the evidence was presented to them before the election.
No, actually, I know a lot about this, and the secretaries of state in the majority of states said we never heard anything from the administration about this. And you just saw the tape where he said, look, there's no way this is a problem, calm down. How could both things be true at the same time?
So my forecast is if he is put under oath and asked to testify, he and Jay Johnson and other people will say, in fact, they engaged in unprecedented collaboration with state and local election officials.
Why didn't he tell the public about it?
Because he was exactly on the horns of dilemma that you imagine, because he would have fed Trump's narrative about things being rigged. Look, the cover of the New York Times and the whole here.
Because it might have hurt his candidate. So we're at war. An act of war was committed against our country, but he lied about it because it might have helped the other party.
No.
I can't imagine a more disloyal thing. An act of war is not a joke. It's not a political act. It's something everyone deserves to know about.
Of course. And should he, in retrospect, have said more? One could make the case that he doesn't.
But why didn't he? I don't understand.
For the reasons that he said, because it looked like Hillary was going to win.
Because it might help Trump.
No.
Because all he cared about was remaining in power. Look,
you mean it might have helped Hillary, you're saying, if he put it out.
He believed that Hillary was going to win no matter what. So it wasn't that big a deal that American democracy was being subverted.
No, I think he thought it was a hugely big deal.
Then why didn't he tell the public about it?
Because I think he was that convinced that Hillary was going to win, and it would be dealt with after the fact, and it would not.
But hold on. You just admitted something profound and profoundly damning. You're saying that political considerations drove the way he presented this act of war to the public. He was supposed to be leading.
No. The overriding consideration for the president is the integrity of the U.S. presidential election.
Why didn't he say that?
Because I think he thought that the integrity would have been challenged by Donald Trump, who was out there time after time talking about things being rigged.
What about the other 320 million of us? Don't we have a right to know we're under attack?
And that's true. You know what? The fact of the matter is, I think in retrospect, when people on the Obama staff are now quoted as saying we blew it, that's probably what they had in mind, that the public did have a right to know, and that was a call Obama, I think, made that was not an illegitimate one.
Do you want to hear the other answer, the real answer? Because I actually know it.
Oh, what's that?
They didn't hack our election. This amounted to nothing. This whole thing is hype and silliness concocted by the Hillary campaign to explain their unexpected loss. And there's no evidence that the Russians had any effect on anything.
Have you had that discussion with the 17th intelligence agencies?
Yes, I have.
Look, the fact of the matter is, 201, they think
that's not true.
They think that the Russians were out to help Trump and hurt Hillary. Well, that's true.
Unfortunately, I've become something of an expert on the subject unwittingly.
As have I. And if you don't think millions of postings on Facebook and all these bots and everything just went in one ear and out the other, I think you don't know as much about communications as I know you do.